Hey.
It is so hot right now.
It's very hot, very caliente. Fun fact, the time that we're recording this is the first day of the World Cup. Hey. We're here, and we're talking, as you can tell by the title of this video, depending on what we call it. I'm pretty sure it's going to say what we said.
Ask your opinion.
Oh, yeah. You're going to talk about that? Yeah. So, basically, I'm wearing a hat right now. My hair is super long. I'm going to get it cut soon. So right now I'm just going to wear hats because I don't wear hats usually. But, you know, I'm going to be wearing hats. Yeah, this is her hat. But, so I can just at least be like, oh, at least I wore a hat for a little bit, you know, before I cut my hair. Because with a haircut, bro, I look freaking bald. Anyways, right, this is not the point of the video. We're going to be talking about religion. Ooh, scary. Scary for some people, eerie for others, alarming for a lot. Because then it's this. Because this is when, in my opinion, when I hear influencers, I'm not saying we're influencers, but religious influencers, when they speak on religion and other religions, that's when I start to change a little inside on how I see them. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about? Once again, a little recap. Oh, a little first introduction. If you're not into religion at all, if you're interested, watch this video. Again, like we say every single video, and we'll try to say it every single one. Don't use this as your scripture. Don't use this as your Bible time. Don't use this as your, I'm getting closer to God, all this stuff by just watching it. Who knows how long of a video. You know, this isn't like, and don't use this as your pillar.
Or your Bible time.
That's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
Your pillar to religion or faith and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, use this as a support and use this to question and all this stuff. You know what I mean? To question and to learn and all this stuff. But this isn't a pillar support your faith and all this stuff. But this is a push, a nudge forward. Again, we watch plenty of videos of different people who are different religions, right? Which we talked about in the very, very first time we talked about religion. We talked about Bryce, Cliff, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. There's priests, there's Orthodox priests, there's all these people who make amazing videos speaking and supporting, which we watch. And again, we don't use it as, oh, you know what? I like them, so I'm going to be that religion. No, I like what they're saying. And that goes for all religions. Because in a basis of motivation, a lot of Christianities support each other. Like, I can listen to someone who's a different religion and that can support me in my Christian faith, you know? So, yeah. Use this as a support, not as a pillar. Mm-hmm. But we're going to be talking about religion. We're going to talk about our journey so far. So this is
it's the other video we talked about it.
Exactly. And who knows how long that was. We got to look. But so this is like an
update?
An update. Yeah. Religious update. We got a lot to say. Yeah, it's going to be a long video. So please, if you're interested in listening, we're going to talk about different churches we've attended. And then churches that we've listened to and all this stuff, conversations we may have had. So again, this is just a update on religious status and faith status. Because faith status, believing status, right? I believe 100%. She believes 100%. The thing is the religious status, because, you know, there's different religions and that's like, you kind of want to know how people are, you know? Mm-hmm. So this is a religious status update, all that stuff. So please, I feel like this would be a great entertaining in a way if you just want to listen, or a great support for anyone. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I would watch this and like, why not? I want to know what they think about all these, because we're going to talk about different religions and our opinion on what we saw at the churches. Actively experienced ourselves, not just I heard this from that church and that you guys do this and you guys do that. No, not at all. Never doing that, because that's very closed-minded. That is bearing false witness, because I didn't witness that, and I'm saying a bunch of stuff that could be like fake, and I'm just proclaiming it as the truth. That's bearing false witness. We're talking about stuff we witnessed and actively saw and heard from people of those religions. You know what I mean? So this is what it'll be about.
Insight on that. Because if you guys did see the other video, if you didn't, that's okay. I'll probably put like a little clip or something. But we did say, I'm probably not gonna find that actually. We did say that not to be closed-minded, remember, and to look into other different churches, which we did. You know, we took upon ourselves. Again, we're not gonna talk, or what is it? Practice what we preach, and also that, yeah. And not do it, you know. So after that video, you know, we really got into it, and we really looked into just a couple, not like, because again, we're not new to religion, if that makes sense, but we wanted to just get a little
To doctrines.
yes, we're new to doctrines, so we just kind of wanted to get like a little like look into different religions and what they believe. And because again, we never knew that different religions believed in different things, remember? And existed, yeah. So again, we really just wanted to see, what do they believe, what do they talk about, what do they look like, you know what I mean? Because again, we're not going to be people that just listen to what they do and then they don't. Again, like Catholics, people told me they bow down to statues there. I went, not one person did that. So I'm like, okay, you know, like that's where it starts, you know. It's all just rumor, or people just say that, you know what I mean? So yeah. So again, we had to go and see for ourselves. But again, we haven't seen all of them, but we have seen a lot of videos of like either, you know, people that are that and that talk about it. And
that once you've seen a couple, you've basically seen all.
Yeah. Which I don't want to, yeah. Which obviously, you know, some are a little different, I will say. But again, it does kind of fall in the same thing a little, you know, because again, they all had to come from something, you know what I mean? Whew, it's so like hot talking too.
Yeah.
So what was I going to say? Oh, drinking a little bit. Thank you.
Your status update.
Status update
of religion, I believe.
So you know, I'm still Christian. But yeah, I'm gonna be going into Catholicism. That's what you say it, yeah. We're gonna go to the classes.
Put the comment there when you said it.
And my sister's actually gonna do it as well. And again, she liked a lot. She, you know, we went to go see it, she loved it. I told her again, just because you saw it for the first time, still do your research, because, you know, it looks nice. But if you look at something and you seem to not like it and not agree with it, then, you know. So she did that and literally came back with nothing bad to say. If anything, it was just questions, and we answered a lot of those questions because this girl's been doing some research. So after that video that we posted about religion, and I said that I wasn't into any like category or any specific religion or church or anything like that, I had to do my research, right? So I did a lot of stuff, and as I was doing that, I was realizing that he hasn't said anything to me. Like, he never talked about it, he never gave me insight on it. I mean, not like in a mean way, but like I would ask him questions and he would tell me them. But other than that, he would never like convince me about it. He never like told me, hey, you want to do this? Do you want to go buy this? Nothing like that. So in my head, I was like, does he not want me to be Catholic? You know, that was literally, I was overthinking. I was like, does he not want me to go? Does he not think this is a good idea? So then I was like, you know, I'll just keep doing my research, you know? And as I was doing it, you know, I was figuring out a lot of things. I asked a lot of questions. I was like, okay, this is really nice. I saw a lot of Catholic people talking about joining Catholicism.
Catholic people joining Catholicism.
I mean, different people. No, oh my gosh, it's two separate. I saw a lot of videos of Catholic people, and then also people turning into Catholicism. I can't say it. Catholicism. And a lot of Protestants turning into that. So, you know, I was like, oh, wow. So I'd see a lot of videos and I'd see why. Because it's like, why are you guys changing, you know? And then I seen it, it was just like, wow. And again, I can go into a whole rampage on why and everything like that. But, you know, to the point of this video. So yeah, so basically I got everything I liked. I saw a lot. I prayed about it, you know. And honestly, I've been really wanting to get into it more often and become Catholic, you know, which I feel like sounds pretty crazy to some people, even my family. But yeah, I still haven't told my dad yet. I want to tell
say something like that.
Yeah. So I want to tell my dad when I've officially done it all, when I went through the whole, yeah, and everybody in my whole family, you know, like my other sister doesn't even know. I told my brother actually recently, and like, you know, my whole entire family. I'll tell them, huh?
You didn't tell me about your brother.
Yeah, remember about the whole school thing? Because I was I'm going to school, and he's like, "What college?" And I was just like, "Catholic," and he was just like, "What the?" But yeah, so yeah, I will tell all of them once I finish it, because I know if I try to tell them now, they're definitely gonna try to convince me. They're gonna tell me I'm dumb. My dad's gonna tell me probably that I'm dumb, or joke about it and be like, he's just gonna be really disappointed, you know. But if I tell him that I'm already done with it, he can't really say anything. You know what I mean? So.
And you'll have the capability to.
Yes. Priest? Is that what you say? Priest? I'm so used to, what is it called? Pastors. Because churches I've been to, pastors. So a priest told me, because I went to confession for the first time. Oh, I haven't even just said that. We went to confession. Because he needs to do his first confession, right? Or no.
No, I need to go to confession. When you're Catholic, for those of you who know, for those of you who don't, we do communion, which is the bread and the bread. The Eucharist. It's called the Eucharist, which is the body and blood of Christ, right? Bread and wine, people who don't know. And in order to receive that, obviously there's all these steps, but in order to receive it again, if it's been like such a long time, you go to confession, and you do confession, therefore you can take it correctly. Like, you know what I mean? So that's why I was like, I want to go, because, you know, I haven't been doing it when we would go to Mass and everything. So
yeah,
we went to confession.
So
and I asked if she wanted to go.
Yeah. So I was like, sure, you know, like I was a little hesitant on it, because I felt like, oh, I haven't done anything, so like, how would I be worthy to even do any of that? But that's honestly, it didn't matter. I went up there, I told him, hey, I'm Christian, and then he goes, we are too, and then I started laughing. I'm like, dude, obviously, yeah, like, what am I saying, you know? And you know, he was really sweet. He was literally just looking at me, smiling, and just listening to me, you know. And I told him, you know, that I was in a different religion. I don't really know anything about this, you know. And yeah, and he's like, okay, well, do you have any questions? And I felt bad, because there's a whole line, you know what I mean. So they're gonna be thinking I'm saying some like crazy stuff, but I just told him like, oh, like why do you do it? You know, he explained to me. He gave me a little example. He gave me a little example about, like, you know, he said like he goes to it.
When you have, you kind of butchered the whole example.
You weren't even there.
Yeah, but you told me several times, so I remember. He said, if you have a bad tooth, you go to a dentist, and the dentist takes it out. Almost like, even a dentist goes to the dentist, right? So, because you can't take off that tooth yourself. So in a sense, it's the same thing. Yes, you can go straight to God and straight to Jesus and repent. But when you go to a priest, it's like going to a dentist, and he will do that for you. It is the priest in confession is there to help the people, so he may pray over you and then forgive you of those sins through God. Is that in that sort of way? That sort of way.
Yeah. So then, you know, he said that, and then he told me again, he's like, join the classes. He's like, try them out. And he's like, and if you don't like it, if you hear something, leave. You don't have to be there, you know? Like, in a nice way, you know? He wasn't like, get out. He was just like, go find, you know, you'll find something else. Like, it's okay, you know? And I was like, okay, you know, and it was nice. Like, okay, this guy's not forcing me to do this. He's not like, why are you in my church and you're not, you know? Like, he was really nice. So I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, do I have to do any, like, Our Fathers? Because I told him that's the only thing I know. And he's like, just talk to God. Like, you just speak to God. So I was like, wow. And I was like, okay, like, this is really nice, you know? And I told him that, and it was just really, like, nice. It was just really, I don't know how to explain it. It was just such a nice feeling, you know? And yeah, and honestly, that just really stuck to me. So it's like, honestly, yeah, like, try it, you know? So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna try it. It starts in September, I think, or somewhere in September. So we're gonna go try it out, and then maybe before the confession, I asked you, right? I asked him, I was like, how come you, like, haven't told me anything? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, you haven't, like, tried convincing me to join, or, like, you haven't, like, said anything. Like, you haven't, like, you know, like, you haven't told me anything. Like, I feel like any person who's into it would, like, tell me, like, oh my gosh, yes, join, you know? And then do you want to say what you said?
Yeah. So yeah, so I wouldn't say anything at all. I wouldn't force it upon her or nothing. I was gonna say, oh, Catholic this, Catholic that. You need to be Catholic. All this stuff, like none of that. I never did, right? Nor have I done that to my friends either. Whenever I talk to them, or if I would, still. But I have talked to my friends, and even now, I still don't tell them like, oh,
Yeah.
this is the one true religion. All this, no, no, no.
Like in the other video.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the video, like all that stuff, right? My thoughts and opinions have definitely changed on the way I think of other religions because I've learned what they believed. But even then, I'm not going to force someone to just agree to mine. You know what I mean? And my thought process and stuff like that. So the same way like that I did with her, I just didn't bring it up. Now, obviously, I would love for her to be Catholic, right? I would love that. Why wouldn't I? Obviously, I would love a Catholic wedding, right? A Catholic wedding ceremony, which I think is amazing and beautiful, and I think it's great. We're actually gonna go to one pretty soon. My cousin's getting married, and we're gonna go through the Catholic Church. He's being married to the Catholic Church. All my family's Catholic, including grandparents and cousins and aunts and uncles. All of them are Catholic. Like literally, all of them are. There's not one that's different. Oh, one aunt that did change,
Oh yeah.
and that's it. But even then, I feel like I know why. Like, but anyways, I didn't want to say it so much because I thought if I were to say it, it would push you away from it. You know, I thought it would push her away. I thought me saying, "Oh, dude, the Catholic, oh, the Catholic, oh, the Catholic." It would be more like, all right, stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stop pushing this towards me. And it kind of makes someone not want to look in that direction. Like, you know what I mean? Almost like when your mom tells you, wash the dishes, wash the dishes. You don't even want to look at the dishes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even if you were going to, you're gonna stop yourself because they just told you to, right? So that's why I didn't say a thing, ever. And honestly, I had no clue. It was very 50-50. Because even my parents asked, like, would she ever become Catholic, or you think she would, or what does she think about it? And I was like, I have no idea. And you can't even ask me because 50-50 chance that she would or wouldn't, you know? She said it before. She said before that her words, by the way, I don't think I would become Catholic. If anything, I would become Christian Orthodox, and that's it. Because of the word Christian. Literally, because of the word Christian. She said she would never consider it. Then she said, oh, she might. In like the first video we made, oh, maybe, and all this stuff, right? And then we asked the whole question, and then I told her, honestly, this is why I haven't said anything, because I didn't want to pressure it. I don't want to push you away from it. But of course, I would love for you to be Catholic, and I would support you the whole way in becoming it, even if you decide to choose something else. You know what I mean? But I would personally love if you were Catholic, you know? But it was all on her and her looking into the stuff, you know, and asking me things, of course, like ask me the questions, and the stuff I find out and learn, I tell her about. I don't tell her as in, hey, know this stuff. I tell her as in, dude, I just found this out, and I'm just sharing what I found out. You know what I mean? It wasn't me teaching her. It was just like expressing it. You know what I mean? So, and she learned about a lot of that stuff too. And then she decided, you know, like we went to the Catholic Mass, and she enjoyed it. And her sister went too, but the same thing with the sister, you know, we didn't want just a trend to catch on where you just go because they go. We were like, you need to find this in yourself, because I, like the same way I said it in the other videos, like, don't just follow a religion just because other people tell you to follow. And don't just follow just because you were born in it, you know? You got to find your own root. You got to look into the roots yourself. Every religion has deep roots, and you have to find where it started, where that seed was planted for that religion, and how deep the roots go in history and what has happened. Not only what has happened, but how it started, you know? A lot of these religions are very new. So you got to see, well, how to even begin, you know what I mean? And helps a lot in finding out a lot of things. And not only that, but like the beliefs and stuff, right? But you got to look into that stuff yourself. And then, because like, I mean, what's the harm if you're so set in your religion? Oh, mine's the this and that, I don't gotta look at any other else. Okay, look into it, and all that will ever happen is you'll just end up getting more evidence on yourself. Like you just end up supporting yourself even more than before. But if you don't, then you could be wrong, you know? So, and religion is a very, very important thing in life, you know, because it's the way you come to believe. It's the people you decide to listen to. It's the people you decide to show you things, right? So it's very important in that aspect. So I say you yourself look into it, question it, all this stuff. There's nothing wrong with questioning it. And then when you come to understanding and you decide on that one, you have all this evidence you went on of why you decided on that one, you know? I went through the same journey. You know, I questioned Catholicism and every religion. I thought I was going to be Christian. And then I found out there was different Christians, you know? I thought there was only one type of Christian, but there's several. So when I found that out, I was like, then what is the right Christian? Who's actually Christian and who's not, you know? And in doing so and all this stuff, I went back to Catholic and decided to do that. Because again, I had the same questions. I had the same assumptions. Why talk to Mary if Jesus is the one only mediator? Why do we have saints? I mean, even the statues, I questioned it because of other people telling me it was wrong. And I was like, okay, well, then we all have the same Bible. Shouldn't they know that what idolatry is and that's wrong? So how do you assume that they just skip over that part? You know what I mean? Unlike a lot of other religions that clearly see they do skip over that part, because when you ask them those questions, they're like, well, that part doesn't matter, which is a frequent line used. They think, well, that part doesn't matter. But with religions that actually have a backup, well, they say, okay, well, this is the reason why, this and that. And I've realized Catholics have a lot of reasons on everything they believe in of why that, why this, why that. You know, there's evidence and there's responses to it. And a lot of times others don't really have a response to it and don't really make sense towards the scriptures, you know? Mm-hmm. But sorry, going off of religion, I don't want to do that, but I just convince people to go on their own, you know? I'm not going to say go to Catholic, all this stuff. No, not at all. Go and find out about your own religion, find out about everyone else's, and see what you see. Like, look at the differences. Look what the common ground is. Look what you not think, but what you'll find. You know, seek and you shall find, and see what's like. Oh snap! You know what? This one. You know, and that's what I wanted her to do, without me in the way, because I thought I would just be like pulling her back from doing it by telling her to do it. You know. Yeah. You want to add in more?
Just a little tiny thing is that, yeah, so I really did like that because, again, you know, being forced, I guess, I don't know, people might be thinking I'm dramatic saying that because, you know, you're a kid, you have to go so much, you know, if you want to not do it, you know, obviously your parents are going to get mad. So, you know, I'm always used to, I guess we'll just say pushing into it. So I was very pushed into my other religion. So really did feel like my choice, you know, which felt really nice, you know, and it felt nice knowing that, you know, my boyfriend isn't pushing me to a religion, you know, and although I did think he didn't care, I think it was like a more deeper care that he let me do it on my own, you know, and he supported, obviously, he still showed me things that he saw and he learned, and that, you know, he still like, I don't know how to explain it, he like, just helped me, I guess, like that. And it still felt like, okay, like it was still my choice and it felt nice. And then even more nicer that he's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, this is so cool, you know, and more support because it's like, yeah, you know, but yeah, so it's cool to have support when you're not in a religion and when you are in a religion, I guess. Well, what I got from you, which I really, really enjoyed and I felt really nice, you know, like even if I were to tell him, hey, I'm going to be in this one, I felt like he would actually be like, you know, that's totally cool, you know? So I really, really like that. And yeah, so I felt like, again, it's my choice. And also why I wanted to explain that, because I feel like a lot of people are going to think he told me, but he didn't tell me anything. This boy didn't speak to me at all about how he felt or how he wanted me to be in it, like at all, you know, which is pretty insane because you would expect that from anybody who found their religion and who wants to be in that religion, you know. That's very, very good, which again, when you were telling me about your whole friends thing, I remember they're like, oh, why are you forcing religion on me? I was like, dude, this kid has never forced it on me. So it's like, how could he force it to you guys? You know, even though he didn't mention it at all. So I knew for a fact he didn't do anything like that because he didn't even do that to me. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But just wanted to say that. Oh, no. But now, let's get into the religions we have seen.
Yeah. Now,
Position for a new topic.
yeah, so now it's the places we've been at. So again, this our current, a little small tiny recap before we go on. We are currently looking into Catholicism, into Catholics, right? We are going to attend the Catechism, which is the classes, which a lot of people are like, well, what? Catholics have classes? Look into it. Maybe we'll do another video on it or something of what Catechism, why, all that stuff. But maybe we'll do that after the Catechism or something, right? Or during. But basically, we are going to do the Catechism. The Catechism is held it starts at September.
Yeah. Sorry.
And it's every Sunday for us, for adults usually. And it's almost like a 7 to 8 month period, maybe 9. No, not 9. 7 to 8 months, all the way till Easter. The week before Easter is when it ends, and it's a preparation and it's a teaching of telling you the reasoning of all this stuff and why this, why that, questions would be answered, all this stuff. There's a book on it. The book it's called the Catechism, right? And it's basically like knowing what Catholic is. It's basically what it is, right? So we're going to attend that. Now, I was born and raised Catholic, and then, I went on my own little journey, adventure, and questioning all this stuff, hearing about all this stuff, and came back. For Catholic, you need to be baptized. You need to attend the Catechism. The Catechism, you do your first confession. When you do your first confession, you do your first communion, which is receiving the Eucharist for the first time, which is the body and the blood of Christ, which is the bread and the wine. Then you do your confirmation. The confirmation is basically a set in stone. You are taking up the role Catholic, right? And you're a Catholic, right? And all this stuff. And you have to keep on practicing this because this is a commitment. Believing in God is a full-time job. It's not, and not even full-time, it's more than full-time. Full-time ends 8 hours a day. This is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is a full-time commitment, not a, I'm going to do it sometimes. That's the point of it. That's the point. Even though some people don't, maybe your friends don't, all this stuff, but this is the point of the confirmation. Now, Catholics usually get baptized as babies. I was baptized as a baby. I had my my communion and catechism and confession during middle school. Now I'm going through the catechism classes again for confirmation, so then I can also actually pay attention and learn something. Confirmation is usually the part that kids do on their own or people do on their own. Parents baptize their children, and sometimes they do have them do the body and blood, right? The communion, the Eucharist. But then when it comes to confirmation, majority times the parents leave that on their kids to do, because baptism is important and the Eucharist is important. So it's like the parents kind of do the role of helping the kid and doing that because they want their kid to be saved. And the confirmation is now a personal thing. Are you personally going to serve the Lord and be faithful on these days,
I don't think what you said about oh my gosh, you have to be in a class.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the point of confirmation.
Yeah.
So I've done everything, but I'm not confirmed. She hasn't even been baptized yet. Therefore, she's going to do everything.
I never got around to it.
Yeah. So she's going to do everything. And that is our step. All right. It's not close to September yet. We're in June. So soon we're very, very excited. Even though it's only going to be once a week, we are so excited, and it's going to be great. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be the three of us, me, her, and the sister. Sister's doing it too. And again, if we don't agree with it, you can always leave. You're not forced to be there, right? And then you can miss 5 times. And if you miss 5 times, 5 is a lot of times.
Yeah.
If you miss 5 times, then they're like, are you willing to actually be serious about this or not? But if it's something like severe and that you actually have to miss, then obviously, yeah, you go ahead. You know what I mean? Life is real. but optionally not going and all this stuff, you got 5 times
Because if you think about it, we have what 28 days that we have to go,
basically.
right? Because it's only every Sunday, so it's kind of like, dude, 5 is like a good amount of times to miss if you really need to.
5 is a little bit. 5 is a month and an extra week
Yeah,
of class
so-
because it's every Sundays.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I feel like it's just commitment. You have to be really committed to it and see, you know what, and give your time, you know? You can give a little bit of your time just to do this, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's not even that long.
yeah.
So that is active status, right? That was a little recap of what we're doing. And then obviously now we are still reading. We're actively practicing. We're trying to do the rosary as well. We're learning that. We finished the gospel. We're in the Acts of the Apostles. We're going to hopefully finish the New Testament soon. Or not soon, but this year. I'm sure we'll probably get around to finishing it. But that is the active status. The places we've been.
Oh my goodness.
So we went to 3 outside churches of the Catholic Church. So if you want to count the Catholic Church, 4. If you want to count churches as locations, 5. Because we went
Wait a minute.
5. So
Yeah.
the first church we went to was a Wesleyan church. So that was that. The second church we went to was a Jehovah Witness church. Now they call it meetings, congregation, all that stuff. We went to that one. The third church we went to was a non-denominational / evangelical church, Protestant church. And I think could be classified as a mega church.
Yeah.
So we saw where it's like, the Christian stereotypes, that was like a mega, but it made it look like it was a regular church.
Right, yeah.
But again, maybe each one is a mega church. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I have no clue.
I'd consider that a mega church.
Yeah, I think that one was a mega church. And we went to that one. And then 2 Catholic churches locations. The one we usually go to and the one that my parents go to. So yeah, that's the ones we went to. And we've realized, or we've kind of learned that there's 3 major religions in the world of Christians. And the big ones are the Catholics, the Orthodox Christians, and the Protestants. Now, in the Protestant tree, there are branches of Christianities, and that's all the Christians that are now that have differences. They are some sort of Protestant in a way, you know? So that's how you can see it. I mean, even Jehovah's Witness is a type of Christian. The only ones I wouldn't consider, to be honest, in the Protestant stand is Mormons.
Yeah, I know.
They're just something completely different.
Yeah.
You just got to separate those completely. I don't even know if they can be classified as Christians at this point. You know what I mean?
Look,
They believe in multiple gods and becoming gods and all this stuff.
And that God
I don't
was, like,
know.
married or something.
Yeah, and
Jesus.
so I don't know.
That was weird.
I don't know if they can even be classified as Christians in a way. But if they would, just put them off on the side. Just put them off on the side.
That's one
But,
we didn't get involved with.
Yeah, we didn't attend that one. But so because there are all these different branches and they're kind of the same, we went to 2 different types of Protestants in a way. One Wesleyan, one non-denominational / evangelical, and then the Jehovah's Witness one. So we kind of notice the one, when it comes to the ones that are like Wesleyan, Baptist, all that stuff, they're kind of basically similar,
Yeah.
right? They're kind of the same in their place and all this stuff and their structure, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and I think
And-
those are like the 3 big, churches out there.
Yeah, and then when you go to Jehovah's Witness, they're the only ones that are different from the rest of the Christians, but still, So you kind of get the gist of it. You kind of get the hand or the head of everything. So let's talk about the first one we went to, which was a Wesleyan church. Now I'll give my opinion and you give your opinion. My opinion was, now in all of these except for one, and I'm going to say which one, and this is off of experience, okay? Because this is things we experienced. They were very, very friendly. In the Wesleyan church, they were so friendly. Amazing people. It seemed very small, so it was very like, everyone knew each other. You know what I mean? So
So we stood out.
well, we stood out. Yeah, we went in and they were like, "Oh snap, you guys are new. You guys aren't really from here." So we had several people come up to us. We had this not pastor, this guy who was the youth group leader of the Christian church, came up to us, asked us our name, introduced us to other people, introduced us to more people, introduced us to their pastor, this whole thing. Great person. We actually actively go to those little, they have youth group Bible studies in a way, I guess you can say, once a month now. And we go to them, and we go to them and they're cool. I mean, it's nice to hang around. I mean, it's people who follow Christ, even though they're not Catholics. Like, all of them are different types of Christianities, denominations, which is very surprising. But the thing we have in common is Christ, right? We're trying to follow in His footsteps and keep faith, So it's cool to attend, and they're very nice people. So we do go to that, even though we're Catholics, right? But that doesn't mean we're supposed to differentiate ourselves from other people. You know what I mean? So amazing people. The people, great, fantastic. They're amazing. The ceremony. So they sang a song for the first bit. I don't know how long the song lasts. I'm going to say like 10 minutes of singing. And then they went on to talking, and then we sang again, and then it's over. But in the singing, I mean, it was cool. I mean, we stood and just kind of stood. I don't know the lyrics of these songs. And we were just singing, and everyone was just like.
Yeah, a lot of people were just like.
Exactly.
But it's very nice.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, that's how it is. We sit down, and they talked. We'd read like one passage, maybe. One passage. And then the rest would be talking, personal life, how you can connect it to your own personal life. And it's like a motivational, in a way, a little motivationalness. And then a little jokes here and there. And connecting with the people, like us, each other. And that was it. So it was cool. I mean, it was cool, right? It was like, wow, nice, like cool. And the people were great. And then the singing was all right. So that's literally the only thing I could say about that is that for that being the first church, it was nice, and we did go to that one a couple times. We went 3 times probably. I think so. We went to that one 3 times. The rest we only went once. We went to that one 3 times. So except for the mass, Catholic mass, we go every Sunday. But yeah, that was what I saw. What about you?
Yeah, so I was one that found this church, and I was like, hey, we should try going, So we did. I emailed the lady, of course, which, I mean, I know it's a woman, it was very different. I've never seen a woman pastor, right? And she was really nice. I told her everything about my old religion. She gave me a lot of advice.
Wesleyan.
We didn't even know it was Wesleyan Church because I didn't even know there was as many different religions. But again, she told me that she was going to show me different churches if we want to go, which I thought was really nice and crazy because it's like, she was really nice. I did tell her one thing, and she was just very sweet. She's like, I just pray for them, and I was just like, wow, that's nice, and it's very motivating, So yeah, so I did like that. She's very, very sweet. The second time we went, because the last time we went, actually, we didn't go for a couple of days because we kept going to mass more, and we wanted to just try it again just to see. And she literally was talking, she saw us, smiled, was like, hang on guys, goes off the stage and hugs us, and we're like, oh my gosh, I was a little embarrassed, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. She's like, oh my gosh, my friends are here, and she's like, oh. And she's really sweet, I like that. So again, yeah, when we first went there, everyone was so sweet. Even like this lady in front of us introduced herself. We're like, oh my gosh, she was so nice. Like, they're very, very sweet. I felt very comfortable there. And again, we still actively go to the youth group because again, it's different people, it's different religions, and it's nice because it's like, what? Like, this isn't about religion. This is about, faith and who we believe in. We all believe in the same exact thing. Like, opinion on it, I really do like it. It's really nice. I am forgetting about it a lot recently. I've been like forgetting about the whole place. If I feel like I'd probably go maybe like 2 times a year max, I feel.
Sorry, excuse me.
I'll say about the bread and thing.
Yeah, they do have the bread and wine there. First time we went, they actually did that. Yeah. And it was those little plastic cups. No, it was the first time.
Oh.
There's little plastic cups, right? And those plastic cups have like one side have grape juice, the other side have piece of bread.
Right now.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's how you can kind of tell our opinion. We do feel it's very sacred, and the fact that we were brand new people and we were able to just come in and take it willy nilly.
Yeah. And not
I
even
did
that-
feel, coming from a Catholic church, I'm like, what's up, like, why is there no,
Yeah.
ceremony, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is an important thing, isn't it? But then that's when we learned about what they think about it and all this stuff, and you know what I mean? Like, so that's a whole nother conversation. Now, speaking on the Jehovah's Witness Church, as you may know, these people like to dress up nice. I have 2 friends, and they have siblings, which are part of my friends, that are Jehovah's Witnesses. I also have coworkers too that are Jehovah's Witnesses. And I was invited to their reunion, and it was their ceremony of the whole body and blood and bread and wine. So we did that there too. Now, this is when I learned what they think and what they do. And so what they do is they don't eat it at all or drink the wine. So we did that, and they have the plate with crackers on it. They have a cup, it's like a cup with wine in it. Was it a regular glass cup? Was it a
Yeah,
regular?
it's a
Yeah,
glass.
it was a regular glass cup, and with wine in it.
Yeah.
And this is what we do.
It was crackers.
You just pass it
You
along.
literally just look at it and then you give it away.
Yeah, so I am not gonna lie at all. I'm being completely for real. When I did that, it felt, something inside of me felt like it just kind of like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I just ripped it off, you know? And I felt very like, it felt terrible, you know? So when I did that, in my head, I was praying. And I was saying, I do not deny Christ. I do not deny you, because I know what it, for me, it's a huge thing, you know? So I felt very bad and very, very wrong about that. And I was praying the whole time, right? And then, no, this is their thing, which is like, what the heck? Now, going back to the dressing thing, you know, I talked to my friend who is a Jehovah's Witness, and then he invited me to it. And I said, okay. And then he goes, do I have to dress up nice? Because you guys dress up nice? He goes, no. Come as you are. Like every other church. Come as you are. Coolly chill. I said, okay, fine. So we both came in as we were. We had jeans, we had a hoodie, and we had shoes. And we come right in. Now, this was in a little hall. So when we walked past, there was 4 people, 3 maybe, outside with suits. There's just dudes with suits. And then we see everyone else going in, because you can tell how they're dressed, and they're like going to go in there. We're not dressed. So we walk by, and I wasn't just going to walk in. I feel like even then, if we just walked in, we wouldn't even be allowed in.
Yeah, I feel like they would have stopped it.
I feel like they would have stopped us. So I just walked past it. And then and this is when I say about the people. We were getting some big looks from the people attending this place, and even the people outside, which I don't know if they were security or they're just watching the door.
Yeah.
But we got some looks from them. We got very judgmental looks, and very like,
Yeah, there's this girl who walked by and she was like, and then she just walked past, and I was like, are we in the right place?
yeah, it did feel very judgy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying this is everyone or this is all, but in our experience of going to that one time, you know, when we're supposed to be accepting of all, and you want everyone to be saved, right?
Or even if they didn't know if we were attending that and we're just normal people, that's how you're going to look at us, you know?
That's how you look at outsiders.
Yeah,
You know?
so it was like,
So we walked by, and it was very, very like that. And I was like, ooh. And then we walked past, and we went to the side. And I even told her, I was like, it's just me, or they're kind of looking at us like, go look at them. And she was like, yeah, dude. And they looked in, and I was like, okay. So I was like, you know, I'm going to call my friend who's in there to get us in. Because, you know, I don't think I could just walk in there. Plus the seats too. So I call him, he comes out. Now that we're walking back with him with us, everyone started having the biggest smile and greetings in their face. They're like, oh, hey, oh, hey, you know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, a second ago when this guy wasn't with us, now you were like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was insane.
And it was bad, dude.
Changed.
And huge change.
It's more welcoming than before. They're like, hi, oh my, like, you know?
Yeah, but then like a couple seconds ago, you just ignored me and looked at me like if I was
so, like,
if I was doing something terrible.
yeah.
But again, not talking anything bad. This was our experience in that one. So we walk in, right? Brush it off. Walk in. We get told there's these 2 seats. We go in the 2 seats. They talk. It was a very serious meeting. We just kind of sat there and just like, and everyone was watching. And the bread, the wine, all that stuff. Then it ended. And when it ended, I think, again, because we stood out because of our clothing, a lot of people went up to us.
A lot of people.
A lot of people went up to us. Almost like, like, are you even in here? Or are you going to start here? Or whatever. And then my friend was with us. And I feel like they gave the idea of my friend was like converting us or something.
I feel like that a lot.
And they were like, oh, snap, good
Congratulations.
job, you know, like, good job for you bringing them in and all that, you know?
Yeah.
And in our head, I'm like, oh, we just came here just to
Yeah,
watch, dude.
yeah.
Like, we want to see what you guys are doing. And that was it. So that one was the only one that was different in that aspect. Now, opinions-wise, back with the bread and the wine, very sacred, and we denied it. I don't agree with that whatsoever. People, before we went in, very different, very... Then when we went in, very, oh, snap, good for you. You're here. You're in the right place. You know what I mean? And like if we're actively changing into them or something.
Yeah.
So that one was a very rocky experience, right? Very, okay. Like I kind of see how it is here, you know, I kind of see how you guys try to show on who's here and who's welcomed in a way. So I was very, okay, you know?
Yeah.
So again, opinions on religion-wise, completely different, but on the experience and there and the place and all that stuff, yeah, no, I wouldn't go back, you know. So that was you want to say anything on that one or same thing?
It's nice they gave you a Bible, you know. They gave me a Bible.
They gave me their Bible.
Yeah, their Bible. They have a whole nother translated Bible. Again, everyone was really nice. I feel like, but because they knew who we were after and knowing who we were with, which was his friend, and they really know his friend, so it kind of felt like, you know, like I was into some VIP area, and now everyone's respecting me because of that, which it didn't feel nice knowing, you know, that's what I got, you know, because it's like, dude, what if I wouldn't? Oh my gosh, what if I wanted to be in this and this is the reaction you gave me? You know, like that's just what's gonna make me look at you differently again. But then again, like we said, we brushed it off. We're like, you know what? It's just the beginning. Like it's fine. Everyone was really nice. Everyone walked in. A lot of people came up to us, introduced us to a whole bunch of other people. I shook my hand so much. My hand was literally hurting from shaking every person's hand. I felt so bad because next to me was like this little girl. She was like trying to play with me and all this, playing with my hand and everything. And I just felt so bad because it was like knowing what they were explaining just didn't seem right to me, or like, you know, okay for a little girl or for a little kid. And I just felt really bad for her. But again, you know, that's what they believe in, you know. And again, he was praying for that, and I was praying for just everyone there that like if this is right for them, then, you know, let them be. I know their faith is strong and real. But if it isn't, to just help them, because it was just, I felt so bad for everybody there. Like I felt like everyone was just blinded, you know, and I felt really, really bad. But again, no hate, no judgment, you know. I feel like their faith is really, really, really strong. They really do have that faith, but it's just like, I just felt really, really bad. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, so that's what happened. And then last and final church, the mega church. Oh. Now, you have videos and we'll put that in. Yeah. We can put that in really quick. Just kind of speed through those videos.
How do you feel?
I'm like excited.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a long video, but hey, you want to hear this. I feel like a lot of people should hear this. So, in this church, as you saw in the videos that were just played, there was a lot of money spent for this place. A lot of production, a lot of cameras. I counted them. Forgot how many, but there were a lot. A lot of crazy things. A lot of screens. A lot of seats. Comfortable seats. Even even more comfier than the movie theaters. And this place started off with the singing, the worshiping, because that's what they is. But I thought we were just singing. Again, everyone was singing, and everyone was kind of just like having a good time. And so I'm thinking we're singing, but we found out this is their worship. They were worshiping in this time, which, sorry, I didn't see it. But yes, we didn't know. Sorry, disclaimer. We apologize. We genuinely did not know that was the worship time. We thought we were listening to the singing and the songs and all that stuff. When it comes to find out, even pretty sure in that Wesleyan church, that singing is their worship too.
Oh yeah, huh?
I think so.
Yeah,
And so I was like, okay, we're just singing. Again, our mentality when we're there. And it was big. It was like concert status. And there was lights. And there was speakers everywhere. And the spotlights going out to the crowd and stuff.
Drone.
It was kind of like a drone. It was like a zip line drone camera, because I guess they recorded this stuff. And yeah, and I was like, wow. And I thought it was great entertainment. I thought it was great watching. I was like, wow, this is so crazy. Like, I'm watching all this stuff like a show, you know?
Yeah.
This was my mentality, and this is me watching it. Then when it was over, we went to the pastor part. Now, the pastor had an intro, and this intro was insane. This intro lasted like 4 minutes, 3 minutes maybe. This was a huge, long intro, and it was like a WWE intro. This is what when it's like, oh, man. And it's like this whole intro, and there's a bunch of words, the screen, and there's screens on the side, and you read them, and I was like, oh snap, dude, this is
like,
crazy.
Who's coming out
Who's
right
going?
now, dude?
I know, and I thought this guy was gonna come out the freaking ground, dude. Like I thought he was gonna,
On the boat.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like he just walked out, which. Like, after all that, you just walked out. Like,
Yeah.
you could have appeared out of the darkness or something.
Out of the smog.
But, anyways, enough joking around. But he came out and he talked. He brought up scriptures, like individual scriptures.
Yeah.
So he kind of like talked. And he's like, yeah, so look at the scripture that supports my talking. At least one scripture.
It was,
And then talk, and then look at this one scripture that basically explains what I said, and then my personal life, and then he was like, and in my head, when everything was going on, I was like, we haven't even prayed yet, like, you know what I mean? And then he goes, all right, let's pray, and he prays out loud, and once he finished praying, he goes, you guys have a good rest of your day. And I was like, hold on, wait, that was it? We just prayed, you know what I mean? Like, we barely prayed right now, and it's over, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we only prayed one time. And then another thing, which you can probably see in the video that we played, which you cue that now. There was a bowl walking in, and it had a bunch of those little cups of the bread and the wine. And it was just a side bowl. Now, I did not like that at all whatsoever. I thought, in my opinion, my personal opinion, that was worse than the Wesleyan church when they just gave it away. This one was just on the side, like if it was just hand picking food or candy or whatever, and you grab 3, put it in your pocket, go home. You know what I mean? And I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that at all. I'm sorry, but I thought that was very disrespectful in a way. The fact that your bread and wine that's supposed to be Christ is in a little wooden bowl on the side, or whatever that thing is, just a little basket just on the side for anyone to grab or take or just walk past. That was pretty bad. I didn't like that. Another thing, during their ceremony or whatever they're saying, there's people like actively drinking coffee and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but in my head, you can't even drink coffee in your classroom. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or in school and stuff. I mean, maybe college, yeah, but I felt very like disrespectful, you know? The fact that people were just drinking coffee during the pastor speaking or whatever it was. And I'm like, yeah, there's like, we're just sitting here listening to a TED talk, you know, and like a lecture. So I was like, yeah, I don't like that at all. They had a coffee shop in there. In their lobby, there was a coffee shop and a gift shop of that church. And they had merchandise of that church. And I'm not talking about like regular merch, like hoods and shirts and baby toys and like, you know, like actual like not franchise, but actual merchandise, you know? So I was like, wow. And this is the church doing. This is not like individual people, like we decided to make this and you know, that's like them. The pastor had his own book and was advertising the book during the ceremony or whatever it was, or during his speaking. And his book was in the lobby. Again, next to the gift shop was the they also had a book about the end times.
I think that was his book, no?
Was that his book?
That was his book.
He had that book of the end times of talking about it or whatever, which, I mean, why? You know what I mean? But
Basically about Revelations.
yeah, so that was that, right? And it was huge. It's obviously, I took a picture of it. I was like, it's crazy. And a huge property, all this stuff, playground, all that. You know what I mean? So,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
so
A basketball court.
a bunch of fire pits with chairs for anyone to just sit.
I'm gonna touch you.
Yeah, that was. There's a drone.
There's a drone.
There he is.
Just up there. We're getting spied on it. Oh my god. What the heck? There's a whole drone.
But
Really high in the sky.
so that was my opinion on that stuff. And the big talk, the whole intro was lose religion and don't listen to someone you don't know.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, shoot, you can probably look this up and find out which one we went to.
Yeah.
But just in those words alone, lose religion, it's kind of crazy because, I mean, that's a big aspect in life.
Yeah.
And, you know, what do you would call this place? You know what I mean? Like, that this is a
Yeah.
religion, right? So lose religion, like, you're talking about everything, you're just not yours, you know? And then in the words, don't listen to someone you don't know, I don't know you. You know what I mean? I don't know the pastor. I don't know who he was talking about. So I'm actively listening to someone that I don't know. So I was like, your two titles there, your big platforms that you're shoving in your intro is like already contradicting yourself.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, like, and the guy talked about his life a little bit, and he talked about that the day before he was like freaking who knows where in Florida or something, and he basically flew back that night or something. He was barely here that day, and about his life and playing golf with this big, I don't know, it sounded like a little wealthy vacation.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's this got to do with the you know what I mean? Now I get involving your life in it and all this stuff, but yeah, that was just a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So that happened. And did he share pictures of it on the screen?
He did.
Yeah, he shared it because I was like, I feel like I remember.
Yeah,
he shared pictures.
Him and the guy.
Yeah, he shared pictures of it on the screen for us to see, you know, and like I understand talking about your personal life to connect to it, which he kind of did at the end, but even then it was contradictory of what everything that was happening. So I was like, yeah, I don't know about that, man. So yeah, I didn't like some things from there, and it looked like there's a lot of money spent in the place.
So much money.
So much money, and I was like, wow, I could have gone to a lot more. You know, that's really all I could think of. So, but you know, who knows?
You know, they got to pay off that coffee place, you know?
Yeah, so I'm sure there's a lot of circling money, but that's a I just know what we saw, right? So I didn't agree with that stuff either. You want to say more stuff about that one?
Honestly, I was pretty mean during this. I will be honest. I was very like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, what is this? This is a concert. But again, him being the good person he was like, we got to be open minded, like let's just. So then I was like, oh my goodness.
Like participate.
We have to.
In order to get the full thing, we gotta participate.
But I could not. I know it's bad. I know I talk about being open minded, but I couldn't. I literally couldn't take this serious. I was like, dude, we're sitting here. This kid or these people over here got their feet up. We got people down there drinking coffee. We're sitting behind maybe one of the lights. All you can see, or one of the screens. I don't even know. So many what's it called? Like connections. So much wiring. You had lights going like like blinging out. The concert we were watching, basically everyone was jumping. Everyone was like, like it was. I heard God maybe like a lot of times, but I wasn't feeling it. When I saw the drone thing, like on the zip line, I was like, dude, what are we doing? Not even that. We had someone on the bottom holding a camera, going up, down, going like, and then we're next to them where they had like the lights and all that, like they're controlling it. I could not take this place serious. I was like, this isn't church. This isn't, again, they don't believe in that, but this isn't like, I'm not going to find God here, like this is okay. Yeah. In my opinion, if you really do not know anything about religion, it's nice just to feel like that boost of confidence if you really need it. But then after that, you have to go find something else. Like you cannot just stay there. Like honestly, it was hurting my head so much because the light hit me in the eye maybe like 5 times. And I was like, I can't do this. My sister was very participating. She got up during worship time, I guess. I didn't know it was worship. She was getting up. And I was like, I can't. I really cannot. Like, I'm sorry, but this just seems really disrespectful. Yeah, honestly, I just prayed for everybody there because, again, it was like, what are we doing here, And, again, he was advertising his book so much. Go get it, guys, in the lobby, blah, blah. And we're like, we go. It's literally telling you about the end times. And I'm like, did this guy just read Revelations and then put it in his own words? I was like, and we look, coffee, again, the merchandise, everything. It just felt like, okay, what are we doing here? Basically in the Bible, when it shows that the marketplace, that they had the marketplace, you can't do that in the same place. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem right at all. So I was very against it. I know, being open-minded, but I really could not. Like it was just so heartbreaking seeing all that because it was just like what is this? And again, this one nobody talked to us. Not one single person talked to us. Which again,
but they look like nice people.
They did. They look very sweet. There's families, but. They're doing their own thing in a way. There's a big old playground, a huge playground. You go even further, there's a basketball court, like it's insane. But again, you won't get bored. You will not get bored, And I mean, they do say it's not a religion. They say cut off religion. Their picture they had was literally a tear apart and it said religion. So it was kind of like,
Yeah, it was the word religion and you tear it in the middle, it said faith.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like the fact you got to do that is a little crazy, but still. And then again, the bread and wine thing isn't literally in a basket. No one tells you anything. No one tells you to grab anything. Nobody tells you anything like that. It's just there. It is just there. So again, anyone can do anything with that. I don't know. I mean, at the first one we went to, yes, they did have a screen. They were changing it, but it was not like this. This was like...
They had a drum booth, though, which I've heard are really expensive.
Really?
You know how the drummer was in their own little cage thing or booth?
Oh, yeah, you're right. They did have that. The first one, they did have that.
I saw that it was that thing is pretty expensive.
Well, damn. So, yeah, I guess they'd be spending money, too. But, yeah, dude, I don't know. Honestly, it was very, again, it's different. It's we saw, again, I don't really know what you can believe in there. Like, I don't really know the whole aspect of what they believe there. Again, like he said, they would show a little scripture. Like, I'm telling you a little sentence, and then he would talk a little bit about it.
One literal scripture.
Not even like a passage. Not a passage. One little scripture. And some of it didn't even make sense. And then, not even that, there's some that would have a big word in it, and he just elaborated that word, and it was like, okay, well, like, what does this have to do with
He
anything?
just broke it down.
Yes. And then he was like, you guys can write this down, I'll give you a minute. And I was just like, what? And then there's somewhere like he would say it, and then there's a blank, it was like a blank thing, and it's like, okay guys, what goes in there, you know? And then he tells you like this big word, and it's like, what are we doing here, you know? But again, I don't want to be mean, it was nice, you know, I understood it. Again, in my head, I still thought, you know what, everyone in here is true into faith, you know, they believe in God, you know, obviously they're singing about God, they're here talking about it, they believe, okay, you know, like they do really believe in God, you know? So in my head I was like, you know what, that's the only thing I can really go with, we all believe in the same person, you know what I mean? So yeah, but it was just a lot. We're not gonna go to anyone's because we already saw what we needed to see. And yeah, so yeah, honestly it was very, very different, you know?
Yeah, we didn't know there was such a big rabbit hole when it comes to religion.
Yeah.
You know, but
Kinda
sorry,
like
were
a
you
pool.
gonna say anything?
No.
So yeah, it was just not right at all. That place. Again, we tried. I tried, but oh, there's baby. She even looked like, where is she?
I know, she's like, baby who? Do not knock that down,
Say,
please. Oh, she's smelling it.
No, don't push. You got anything to say? Is that it?
Oh, she's fresh, man. Oh, hopefully that's not
All
too
right, you guys heard that. You can kind of see her a little bit. Meow. But don't push your body against that, please.
bad. Oh my goodness.
Okay. I feel like she's gonna trip over
I
it.
know, I feel like she's gonna push it sideways. She
Oh.
knows, bro. She's
But yeah, dude. And then when it comes to the whole doctrines and what they believe in and what they're categorized and all this stuff, because they have no respect for the bread and the wine. For them, it's bread and wine. So it's just there. Like, it's literally hand picking food. And so yeah, we saw that, and it was this is what I was gonna say. It's cool as like a TED talk and like a motivational speaking, basically like YouTube, like how you watch things to help you out through your day and life and all that stuff.
yeah.
Is basically what it was. It wasn't an actual church ceremony or mass or whatever, because it's not even called that, but it was just them talking and, hey, you know, doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna be okay. That's it. You know what I mean? And it was like, well, it wasn't really like that. You know, it was a very different thing they were trying to teach in a way, where it was just like, oh, look at this, look at that. And it was almost like he was using the scriptures he chose to support him talking.
Yeah.
Not him talking was supporting the scriptures, you know? And it was like a whole class. Again, it was just a meeting. It was just a TED talk, a meeting, whatever. And you were there to listen and feel good about yourself because someone is telling you to feel good about yourself, right? And that was it. Like, it wasn't really anything biblical at all.
No.
And then again, they only prayed once, which was at the very end.
And we're sitting.
Yeah, and we were sitting. We were just sitting there. Like, all right, hold on, guys, let's do this real quick, and then
Yeah,
we
I
can
was
go
like,
home.
Alright.
And then, you know, they did it, and then we went home. And I was like, well, that's it. And, you know, so it's like, yeah, experiencing all these different churches and what they do and believe in, it supported me into going into the Catholic
Yeah.
Church, because I've noticed that no other one is as serious as that one. And don't get me wrong, the Jehovah's Witness one, they were serious, but almost like a classroom serious, like
Yeah.
a camp serious. Like, you guys
Yeah.
better be paying attention to
Yeah.
this and engrave it in your brain. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
mad serious, but not as serious as in a respectful way. Like, this is serious, you have to be respectful. No, this is serious. You got to sit down and you got to listen, and you can't talk, and you can't, you know what I mean? That,
Yeah.
not saying they didn't say any of this stuff, but that's how it felt. You know what I mean? And all this stuff. Like, you have to know these things. And again, if you're very confident in that, oh, mine is the true one, because a lot of people say that, then all it's gonna do in looking into it is support your belief, and that's it. You know what I mean? And then if it doesn't, then good for you. It's important to know if something's wrong or not. You know? So it's a big thing. And I told them, look at this. I told them like 2 weeks before, look into your own history and look into what you guys believe and who started your religion and all this stuff. Because if you don't find out, I'm going to tell you when we go talk about it. And you'll find out then, you know?
Yeah.
And my friend said, oh yeah, I did a bunch of deep diving and I researched what you told me. I said, okay, how do you feel? And he was like, I feel the same. So I'm like, definitely he did not look into this
Yeah.
stuff. So when I was there and I told him this stuff, again, it was like he was hearing it for the first time because he didn't look through it. It wasn't about, okay, let's go scripture for scripture. No, it was, let's go what you guys teach and know and see how it contradicts. You know what I mean? So that was the whole conversation. And at the very end, they were very like, a lot of things they didn't know and a lot of things they need answers to, because yeah, you need answers to. And I even told them, go tell, because they call them elders, go tell your elders these questions I'm telling you that you don't know the answers of, and see what they decide to tell you, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, and now they're going to research it. And then everything I've told them when it comes to their history and all this stuff, now they are going to look for it themselves to see if it's true. And I support it. I said, dude, go ahead. Yeah, go fact check me, everything. And when they actually do look to try to fact check me and notice, oh, snap, this was right, then you're going to think, why am I following this? You know what I mean? Why am I looking at this stuff or following this religion? Why am I starting from today and forward, not the roots of how it started, you know? So that's why I told them to do it. And that's why I encourage everyone to do it, you know? And I told them, I was like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, no, stay here. I'm not going to sit here and tell you only follow this because I believe in this and I think it's right. No, I'm going to say, look into it yourself, you know? Don't just listen to me just cause, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's the conversations that have happened. And I'm still having these conversations with my coworkers, you know, that are Jehovah's Witnesses. I got 3 in there. Oh, 4. And yeah, because, you know, a big major thing is living it, you know, practicing what you preach, right? So you can't just say this stuff and then not actually try.
Yeah, I understand.
A lot of people do try, and that's great if you're actually trying, you know?
But some people are really aware and they just like don't care, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand because it's.
But then some people put a mask on and claim to be, but then they don't at all, you know? Yeah. So it's like, wait, hold on. It's just a whole like, and then the crazy part about this stuff is that people watch people like that and they kind of like see how they see these people talking, and the stuff they say could be good sometimes, but then you have a platform that you have to notice, you do.
Yeah.
So then when people hear what you're preaching and all this stuff, and then they realize how you're living, now you're just throwing a bunch of confusion onto them. So, but that's a whole different thing. But the whole point of this video was what we did, what we saw, what we think about what we saw in those 3 churches we went to, people, what they did, and how we felt about them. Yeah. And then what we're actively doing and how we're going to do that stuff. And that's going to be very exciting.
Yes.
That's all we got to say. Super long video.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's an update, right? So you got to see what we're doing, obviously, if we're really talking about this stuff and, you know, preaching it to the camera and whoever watches it and stuff.
Yeah. And show that
you got to see what we're actively doing. You know, it's not just what some people do is just preach it, but don't practice it. But we have actively practiced it, and we have actively been doing more forward. And, you know, not saying it's easy at all. You know, a lot of people think it's sunshine and rainbows when you get into a religion, but it's not. It's never sunshine and rainbows ever in life in general. So only thing is you have a better way, and you know that better things will happen, you know? Yeah. And you know how to get through it. You know, you're not alone in going through things. Even if there's no person next to you, you know you always have God there for you, you know? So, again, tough times will happen, but you will be able to get through those tough times because of it. So, yeah. But yeah, that's what's going on. That's everything. That's the whole update. yeah, everyone enjoyed the video and heard what we saw and
Yeah.
questions or comments or anything. If so, because in the first one we did, there were comments.
Yeah, there
Which
was.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, you guys should tell us if you guys seen any other churches, and your opinion on them, or if you went to churches that
Yeah.
the religion we've
I
been
would
to, and what
love-
your experience on
I
that.
would love to hear other people's experience on it because I like seeing that stuff
Yeah.
in YouTube too. Where,
Maybe we just got some bad experiences. But,
yeah, maybe
you know.
who knows in certain ones. But
Yeah.
again, I mean, when it comes to the people, amazing people,
Yeah.
except for that one. But well, I guess
But they were
it's
really
okay.
nice after. so-
Afterwards, they were nice,
Yes.
but everyone else was pretty cool. So yeah.
So, yeah.
Just let us know about that and your opinion, and maybe if there's some people actually watching, what religion are you and why? Maybe you know what I mean, and give us your reasons. Oh, maybe in the other video, give us your reasons or whatever. But yeah, that's that. That's it. If you watch the whole thing, that's amazing for you. That's great for you. That's a huge supportment from us to you. And again,
Because it does take a lot.
it does take a lot to just sit down and watch. Even if you didn't watch this all in one sitting, it's fine. But
Yeah.
as long as you listen to it, right? And if you're into religion or not at all, and you just want to hear what all the fuss is about, or look at these people who believe in what they're talking about, if you want to, maybe you'll get curious. But yeah, so good for you. You watched, and that's it. That's all we gotta say. That's all.
I'm gonna show them baby.
She's gonna run away when you pick.
How do you feel about religion? Oh.